We do love you, Leeds. Don't we, fellas? How are you doing?
All good.
All good.
Thank you.
Our favourite time of the week, innit, boys?
It is. It's not even Friday.
It's not even Friday. It's a Thursday. But here's a little video to show you what's on tonight's show. Late Night Leeds, don't you just chuffing love it? I love
it. Great music.
Great music. Great company. How's your week gone, lads? How's your week been?
Good, I think. Leeds are top of the league. You can't complain, can you?
Who would have thought it after all the negativity?
Mate,
it's amazing what a game makes, isn't it? I mean, it could all change back at weekend. I'm not been trying to be negative, but
who's been
let's enjoy it while we can, boys. It's looking good.
Yeah, it's great.
Who'd be negative, mate? Who'd be negative? I don't know who'd be negative. Not me. There's a new poll just going in the chat now. A bit of an unusual one, but obviously we do it every week and got to think outside the box. So I want you to pick your favourite player from this list. These are players who are currently still playing football, but not at Leeds United, and they all came through the Leeds Academy. So we stayed outside the Bielsa era, so this is before them. I think we know who's going to win it, but just going to poll now. Howson, Milner, Cook, and Taylor. But yeah, boys, shall we touch on the horrible game at Luton before we jump into the Middlesbrough game?
I think you thought that was more horrible than I did, actually. Luton game.
Maybe.
How did you, Sean? Where were you sitting with Sean? Did you think it was horrible?
Any drop points feels horrible, lad. Any drop points at the minute.
Yes, just because of where Luton are sitting in the table.
Nope. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
I don't know. I think the problem with Luton is they play exactly the opposite of football we want to play against. I think the two big guys up front, three at the back, direct play. I thought we actually dealt them quite well. I think they lack quality, which is bizarre, considering they're in the Premier League last season. And I felt we dealt them okay. And then Farker did some weird stuff, and I thought he'd lost the plot at times. But we come out with a draw, which I was disappointed with, and then the whole mood changes because then Sheffield United lose the game. Because there and then we lost the game. I look, Sheffield United are 2 points above us. If they win, they're 5 points above us, and I thought that's them gone. We're not cashing in 5 points in 5 games. That's it. And then they go and lose it, and I thought, and then everything changes because it's all the means to an end now, isn't it? It's all just trying to get through the games and see, try and get promoted. So whether play well or not, because I think every game's gonna be tight now. And I say Luton's one of the teams I didn't really want to play against. I think they're the opposite of what we want to play.
This is what I was thinking against, obviously, the Middlesbrough game. How different we can play from week to week. That's for me. And like you said, Farker got his subs totally wrong against Luton. What I did see against Luton was a bit of fight and a bit of, the boys actually sort of dug in and they did try. We hadn't seen that for a few weeks. And then that went into the Middlesbrough game. But the Middlesbrough game, he got everything so right in the Middlesbrough game. Did Farker? That's the disappointment for me. It's different for different teams. It's not He's not consistent.
I think it's the opposite. I think he is consistent, and different teams do different things against us.
The thing is, that's Luton.
Yeah.
Luton did the simple things, and that's the thing that we can't sort of overcome at the minute. Where we've got teams like Middlesbrough want to come at us, and I think that benefits us. I like us on the counter, and that's going back to us again not being able to break teams down, isn't it? But Luton did offer it, like I said, two up top. Not a lot of teams do it. I like that personally, but not a lot of teams do it, and they're a big physical side, which we're not that physical.
No,
but I did. We did sort of match them in that department, which was good to see. But again, it's how you want to look at it. At end of the day, that point away at Luton could be so crucial coming to an end at the last games of the season. So we'll
By the way,
take it.
I think the centre-backs deserve praise in that game because I think Morris and Adebayo caused a lot of problems for a lot of centre-backs last season in the Premier League.
Yeah, they did.
And winning headers, going direct, whatever else, bullying them sometimes. And I think they actually stood up to it really well, really well. I think Morris was moaning quite a lot because he wasn't getting all his own way. I think Stroud and Rodon were good.
God, yeah, he's annoying him, isn't he?
Oh, he is, yeah.
He's annoying, yeah.
That's exactly what teams do against us. Everyone moans at the referee more. Everyone keeps their grass longer. Everyone goes in harder on the challenges. Like it's everything, like all the real championshipy stuff.
Thing is, if he played for Leeds, we'd all love him, but it's against Leeds. I hate him, but
it looks like away fans had a good day out in Luton anyway, regardless of result. Obviously, when I went to Middlesbrough, they were showing me out videos and stuff on the phone of going through people's gardens and stuff, to get to the stand. It just crazy stadium, that Luton, innit? Can't believe
I've been Luton twice. It is nuts. You go through someone's back garden to get in. Yeah, is
that what it is? Is that what you have to
it feels like you walk through two people's. You walk through this middle bit, and there's a little garden either side. It's about 6 foot wide. You go into the stand. There's a little food. So there's no like concourse bit. It's just a food thing in the top corner. I never found a toilet, but then So, it's just a mad place. It's a terrible place, Luton.
What's the capacity? It's about 15,000. What is it?
It's not massive. No, it's not massive. I don't know, but it is. It's not massive. But yeah, horrible place, Luton. Awful.
I don't want to dwell too much on it. Really negative after that.
Yeah, let's move on.
The amount of draws and fixtures we haven't played well in, and not played well in. The results haven't come off back of a poor performance. I don't mind a poor performance if you get the result at this stage of the season, but I were really down. I've had a lot of messages saying it's not like you, Matty. And then I shaved my tash off, and we go to Middlesbrough. And then it all flips. So, before we get into Middlesbrough, I want to know the stats. And the only person who can let me know the stats is the man behind the stats, Sean. Stat man, freaking Sean. Stat man. Yeah, man.
Love that.
Didn't think I'd put them up, did you? Didn't think I'd put them up, did you? You thought I'd be lagging, didn't you? You thought I'd be lagging.
Me and Adam were looking at each other then. I saw him.
There you go. On the money. 10 minutes late, but on the chuffing money. Have that.
All right, possession. Yeah, Middlesbrough, 53% possession. They did have a lot of the ball. Obviously, we knew that looking at the eye test. Shots, they had a massive 17 shots on target. Luckily, they didn't have the shooting boots on, only managing 2 shots on target, Middlesbrough. That's terrible. Ourselves, obviously, only 5 shots on target, but 3 shots on target. 2 big chances missed by us, and 2 big chances missed by Middlesbrough. Passes, Middlesbrough amassed 556 passes. They had a passing accuracy of 87%, did Middlesbrough, to our 84%. I mean, our passes were 496, so we both passed the ball quite a lot. Thing is, though, with us, we only in his own half, it was 260 passes in his own half. We only managed 157 passes in Middlesbrough's half. They amassed 244 passes in our half. And again, that goes back to the game. They really penned us back, especially that second half. Defensively, tackles won 11 for us, 6 for Middlesbrough. Interceptions, 8 for Middlesbrough, 7 for us. Blocks, we had to make 6 blocks to Middlesbrough's none. Clearances were massive for Leeds United, 32 clearances we had to make to Middlesbrough's 14. Ground duels, we actually won more ground duels in that game. That obviously shows with the determination, dogginess of the players. 52% of us ground duels. Aerially, Middlesbrough just better us on that with 58% of the aerial duels. Ratings, which I thought, and we've touched on this, Matty, were a bit high, wasn't it? For Solomon, we didn't think it would be that high, but he actually got 7.8. Did Solomon. I was impressed with Darlow, and I think that's deserved with Darlow at 7.7. Lowest for Leeds United was Willie Nonto at 6.34. Interesting enough as well, Bamford got 6.5 rating, which I think some could question with what he did when he did come on.
100%.
Tanaka, I thought Tanaka, he was the best of the midfielders, as you can see there, 7.2, actually making more tackles and interceptions than Gruev. And also Ampadu and Rodon, solid in that defensive pair. Overall, Brendan Aronson, Pirro off it, which again, Aronson just running around a little bit, working hard. But when you do look at his stats, he only won 3 out of his 13 duels. He lost 10 duels, did Brendan Aronson, in that game, which was actually plain to see. So, and that's it for the stats.
Yeah, I'm shocked to see Solomon that high. I know he registered 1 official assist, but he did get 2 assists. But
it's funny that James were on 7.7 when he was quite high. Was James as well? He was quite high, but I think it's just that assist.
Yeah, do you know what it is though? Obviously, I've got a different take from being in the ground watching it, and honestly, for Solomon and Aronson, Pirro as well, but Solomon and Aronson got the most stick. I say stick. We all support the lads. But the murmurs between people behind me, aside of me, every time they lost the ball or made a bad pass. What it's like, even at the road, at any stadium in the world, you get that, don't you? When we're frustrated. Solomon got the most, I'd say, even though he was the highest performing player at the ground. He felt very disappointed, did Solomon. There were so many players that played well in that game, and individual performances they had to really asked on. But there were a couple who I'd say that the fans were really bothered and bugged by, and Aronson and Solomon were the two. So I'm really surprised to see Solomon's rating so high.
Solomon's passing accuracy were 97%.
Mental, mate.
And he won most of his duels. So
to be fair,
that rating goes off that as well.
To be fair, you know what it was with Solomon? It wasn't really bad. There were a couple of people who had bad passing. In first half, we were passing out of play quite a couple of times. Darlow did it. I think Rodden did it a couple of times. But I am surprised Solomon's passing accuracy is quite high, because it wasn't that we were bothered about it. When every time he got 1-on-1 with his fullback, he didn't go beat him. He turned and just paid the simple pass back. And that's where we were getting annoyed. There didn't seem to be much overlaps. But every time he got the ball in a dangerous area, he turned inside. Yeah, a couple of times he delivered a great pass. That second one was outstanding. But I think that's what us away fans were getting a bit annoyed at, that we know he's got the beating of his fullback and he didn't really test him enough.
Yeah, you've got to look past. Sometimes you've got to look past these ratings, and like you said, the eye test says it all on a lot of the games. But
it's funny gig though, and it's sometimes as a winger. Against Luton, we needed the wingers to beat their fullbacks. Like, it's really like that's how we were going to get in. Against Borough, like, it was more of a transitional game, and we were going to get opportunities, and they were going to get opportunities, and their biggest threat is going to come from transition. So the players giving it away was the biggest risk we had. So I think that's why the players played a bit safe, and that's why like Schmidt coming on. I know we're ahead, but that's why he works in that game, because it's one of Farke's loves, isn't it? This defensive attacking midfielder thing. Like, so Schmidt comes on as a defensive winger, which is just mental. Yeah, and the same, but it was that type of game, and I think it worked. It's quite atrocious. Like, it was even though it's quite open, there's some good football. There was very few clear-cut chances. Borough had 17 shots to our 6. Was it, Sean? That's nuts, isn't it? But as I say, at the moment, I think it's all squeaky bum time. Like, it's just everyone. Every game's tight. All three, us, Burnley and Sheffield United. I think all the games will be tight now, and I think it's just whether you can cut, like Luton, this one, whether you can just come out just on the right side of them, and that's all that matters. To be fair, we've had 2 goals chalked off that were good goals as well. We could have come away for a 3-0, and then we probably feel slightly different. Like you say, Matty, I've always done that. When I go to games of football, and when you see it on TV, you see it from above, you see it completely differently. It's really hard to work out sometimes. I always find not that you're right or wrong either way. Like, it's hard to work out what they, people see on TV, a completely different view of the match.
Different perception of the game, can't you? When you, like you say, when you're in stadium, you can see the whole picture. You can see off the ball. Maybe you can't see off the camera, when you watch it on TV. But that first half, I thought we were really poor that first half. I was really struggling that first half, even though we were 1-0 up. I thought second half, to a man, I thought we were fantastic. We've seen this season, haven't we, that we can play scintillating football, score many goals. This was the one thing you've been questioning this last 4 or 5 games has been that desire, that heart, that grit to go win a game of football that maybe you wouldn't have won at certain times this season, And for me, that we saw it a little bit at Sheffield United. We've seen it at home at Sunderland, and then it seems to have been missing lately. That was an outstanding team effort that of just throwing the body. Even people who I said were a bit off it first half. I thought second half everyone stepped up and clearances, throwing themselves in front of the ball. We had a little bit of fortune as well. Don't get me wrong, lads. You must have, were nervous last 15 minutes. If they had their shooting boots on, they could have got a couple of goals. I mean, for 17 shots, Adam, like you said, I think they only had 3 on target. Goes to show you that if there'd have been a bit more cutthroat in that final third, it could have been a different night as well, And imagine if we'd have come out of that with, we dropped points after those 2 were chalked off, it'd have been carnage. It would have been carnage.
That's a championship game, though, isn't it? Like, they had a lot of good half chances, and they just missed the target all the time. I come up after the game, and Mrs. went, "You shouted some really mean things during that game." Like, she reeled them off. I was like, "Yeah, they were all at Aronson. They're all at one person, like every single one." When he went down holding his face, 85th minute, I forget unless there's a hole in your face.
You should have heard what a guy next to me said, mate. You should have heard what they were saying.
I couldn't believe it. I'll get up. Like, seriously. Yeah. He was brushed off the ball. And again, I don't want to labour it because it's, again, like...
It's a means to an end, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah,
like, because everything we talk about, when I talk about games, and, I don't try not to look at individual games, look at patterns, but it's all so tight at the moment. I just, when I see that heart, desire, I just don't want to see him laying on the floor, brushed off the ball, whining at referees. It's all classic Aronson. It did my head in.
No.
Absolutely did my head in.
How did you feel that midfield looked? Obviously, we know Tanaka's a great player. I think he's been off it since he got publicly mentioned, I think, by Farke. He's been off it last 3 weeks. He hasn't improved after getting that pressure put on him and, being sort of outed by Farke. He hasn't improved, I don't think, after that. I think Gruev were the better of the two, even though the stats might say otherwise. I didn't think Tanaka would. I feel like, especially that first half, they were sort of getting through us quite easy through the middle. How did you make of the new partnership?
I don't know how to take Gruev at the minute. Like I said, the stats say different. Tanaka was the better midfielder. He did make the tackles, he made the blocks. I'm not saying he didn't, but Gruev did make blocks. I don't know. I think Gruev just needs games. I don't like. He's been taken in and out of the team quite a lot as Gruev, hasn't he? I think he just needs a few games alongside Tanaka, build up a bit of a relationship, which is gonna happen now. We've got nobody else, so. I've got no worries now. I've got no worries because I think he'll be fine, Gruev. What is he? I'm trying to still struggle to find out what he is. He's supposed to be a defensive midfielder. You'd expect him to be a bit like Ampadu. That's what he was supposed to be, wasn't he? A sort of a backup for Ampadu. Not seeing it at the minute. We did see it when he first came into the team. Like a range of passing that he's got. That's sort of gone away now. But I just think he needs a bit of time. I'm not writing him off just yet, Gruev.
Sorry, Sean. What you said earlier in your video, I saw it as well. But when he was dropping into sort of a left centre back almost position, Firpo rotates, and that rotation created space. It creates space for the first goal, and I think that's actually suddenly those rotations will give the other team something to think about all of a sudden. Rather than Firpo's on touchline, Mark Firpo, Gruev's in the middle, Mark Gruev, because he's not really first receiver, so he's got to find when he's not first. Because Snacker's a first receiver. If he's playing Ampli's first receiver, last season when Kamara, he was always the first receiver. He saw a lot more of the football. So now he's not. He's got to find more ways to get involved in the game, and actually him doing that and that understanding with Firpo, giving Firpo a little more license to be a bit more creative in his positioning. I mean, in theory, he's going left back and Firpo's going centre midfield. He's going, wow, like nothing's happening. But it's just because they're rotating, and that's where the difference is. And
that's your patterns of play, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's your patterns of play that they work on in training. So Gruev drops in sometimes, and it looks like it's a back three sometimes, which allows Firpo to push up in centrally. That also will probably pull somebody else in, one of the middles players in, which allows Solomon the space out wide as well. If you did see it, obviously didn't do it all the time, but there were a few times that's what actually happened, which allowed then Tanaka to get a bit forward as well in that midfield.
It's saying off the training ground, but of course then it happens a lot with Farke teams. And Gruev comes in, and it's like he takes it on himself. Because, why didn't Rothwell do that then? Rothwell drops in a little bit, but Rothwell plays a bit more fast. You know, same as when Nonto probably play right wing on Saturday. He won't play it like Dan James. He'll suddenly be inverted, and Bogle will have to get wider and higher. Yeah. So
what we've seen in the past is if it's Tanaka and Rothwell, it'll be Tanaka that drops in, but he'll sort of drop in centrally. He won't drop in out on no
100%
wide areas. Well, it'll drop into the central areas, and then it'll be Pascal that'll drop out, like that would move out onto the left.
Yeah.
So it's a similar sort of pattern, but just different players doing it. Again, I think it's down to the opponents as well. You've got to look at the opponents and how they're set up as well as to what patterns of play you're going to play, you know, and how you're going to line up defensively as a structure going forward and defending.
Ultimately, what works really well, and it wasn't that fruitful, I think more fruitful against Preston, is Ampadu playing centre back and Gruev playing. Ampadu is best on the ball. So this high press thing works. It won't work as well when Ampadu's on the ball. He'll again hold the ball a little bit longer. You have Gruev and Tanaka as options there as well, and Rodon. And I think we'll play through it a little bit differently. I think Ferber can go wider, come middle. Solomon can drop right in then, or stay high and wide, and suddenly there's a bit more for the opposition to think about in that slight change of Stroud not playing. Because Ampadu can play left foot, or he can tuck in and play with his right foot as well. So the pitch is opened up for him this way, inside. So yeah, it's just a little bit different. I think that will actually Trout being injured in build up will play into our hands a little bit more.
I think that's why I think and I don't know about you, but I prefer Ampadu at the back. And like I said in my video, I wish we had two of them.
Yeah,
because it'd be great to have two of them in there.
I'm going to ask you that, Sean, because the fan base are a little bit split. I've heard a lot of people say he's better at centre half. So the problem is he's really good at filling in at centre half, but you do miss him in the middle, don't you? I mean, it's another clean sheet, Sean, for him and Rodon, and that builds confidence. Then you add Darlow to the mix. I'm quite big on this whole Welsh sort of connection as well. How good do you think that defence with Darlow can be going forward if that is to be us till the end of the season?
How far? Or just till end of the season, I think it'll be fine. I do like it. Ampadu's a different player to Strike, and he brings something different in the defensive areas. And like we've just touched on there, he received the ball 118 times in Ampadu against Middlesbrough. That's the most out of any player.
Yeah,
it goes to him, and then he's spreading the ball. And we saw the long balls he played. I can't remember what it was now, but a lot, about 13 out of 16 or something, long balls. He played. He can see the full pitch in front of him, which is what I like. And he dictates the play and where it's going to go.
No,
and
Sean. No, Sean.
What?
Not you, Sean Healy. Oh. No, Sean. No, mate.
Sean Healy.
He's better than bench, pal. He's better than bench. Come on.
Yeah. I've lost my train of thought now. So that's what I like from Ampadu. But yet then we saw his weaknesses. I don't know. Was it Isidore? Was it Sunderland? I can't remember. What was Isidore play for when he got bullied off the ball? So there is weaknesses in his game, but I'm looking at the teams we're coming up to play against, and I think we'll be fine till the rest of the season with Ampadu and Rodon.
This is a good point, isn't it, Sean? What Joe Lobbers just said. Strauch is a better defender, but Ampadu is a better partner at Rodon. That makes it tricky. That's actually a good point, to be fair.
Yeah, it is, and Rodon looks more comfortable with Ampadu there.
Yeah, 100%. That's fair. 100%.
I think. So Saturday we might come a little bit unstuck because Osmajic and whoever else they put two big strikers again up front, and that's not Ampadu's game. And I think we can limit that as we do and limit build up, blah blah blah, limit them playing that ball. But I'd rather Strout was playing against Preston. To be honest, in terms of defensively, but Ampadu's better on the ball. And by the way, Strout's still a very good centre back, and there's games where I would favour Strout over him definitely. Either which way, next season we probably need another centre back because Strout was injured. But because I do prefer Ampadu in midfield, I just do. I think he was brilliant against Luton in midfield. I thought he was brilliant, and we do miss him in there. But like as long as he's on the pitch, is okay. But,
I mean, I really rate Pascal. I think Pascal can go on to really big things within the game at centre half, where I would disagree saying Ampadu's ever going to go to a bigger level at centre half. So I do like Pascal, but I do think partnering Rodon, you never asked that. You know what it's going to do. You know it's squeaky. I say squeaky clean. There was some gaping holes in that defence.
It might be a reason why Gruev was dropping in as well back into there just to give us a bit more cover just in case possession were lost in the midfield area.
I mean, Andy says a good point here, though. Sorry to say, but Strauch injury could be a blessing in disguise. Ampadu Road and combo. And that's what we saw last season. As soon as Strauch got injured, which we know happens every season, he has a spell out of Strauch. We were gutted. And then all of a sudden, to be fair, we've sort of stumbled on some decent players, haven't we, when we've had injuries and adversity? You know, we had it this season when we lost Ampadu and Grover, and all of a sudden we think what we're going to do, and then we stumbled on Tanaka and Ruffle as a partnership that would have never played together, I don't think, had there never been those two out. Again, playing Rodon with Ampadu, that only happens when Strauch's been out. So we've been really lucky, really, even though we've got quite a thin squad, and we have had for a while now. We've had decent players who can, that square peg round holes. Sometimes it's not a bad fit, and we've been quite lucky that the players that have stepped in have actually played at the same level, if not beyond the level of the player they've actually replaced at times. So we've actually managed the season quite well through us big injuries, haven't we? Luckily, Pirot and certain players that we probably couldn't have replaced at certain points, if they'd have gone out, would have been struggling. But the people we've just about got enough cover for, we've covered it, haven't we? We've covered it.
We'll see with James how long. If James is out for a little while, I think that's the one player that we haven't really got a replacement for the way he plays football. On the last shoulder, etc. That's the only one. But in general, the season I think would be good. I think Ampadu is massive for that because he can cover centre midfield and centre back. Wober's been injured most of the season, which is ridiculous. We've had an Austrian international who's played 8 games all season, whatever it is, next to none. It's stupid. Rodon's fitness is unbelievable. He makes a massive deal. He's always limping or holding his head or something. I think he loves all that. Like he just gets, but he plays pretty much every game. Strauch's been in and out, but the injuries all fallen at the right times in terms of there was a time when obviously we had no backup, and then if Rodon had an injury, we had Gula at centre back for however many games. So we've been quite fortunate. It's been really paper thin at times, but it has worked out. Yeah, and of course now people say the rest of the season, Ampadu Rodon. It worked really well last season. I think there was other factors in that. Bamford came into the team. I think Bamford's really good for Leeds United. I think he's still got the best artistry as a number 9 in the squad. He just understands. He plays that role better than anyone else. He just does.
Well, that's where I'm going next point.
As an all-round player. So there's something in that as well. But it still means to end now. 5 games to go.
Let's touch on Bamford, because I say touching in this one. A massive game for him. This really highlighted what he brings to this Leeds United side. I thought we saw Luton. I won't say change the game as such, but it looked threatening. He gave us a different option. You could see we improved with him on the pitch when he's fit. When he's in, he's got to be fit and on form. And what I will say is, he seems to have come back into the side and just took off. He hasn't. It doesn't look like he's taken him a couple of games to get in the swing of it. He's come back and he's been at a decent level straight away. I don't know if that helps it. Pirot's levels dropped a little bit as well. So instantly, we're excited to see Bamford. We're excited to see something different. But the attributes he's got as a striker has never been in question. What's been in question is his fitness, his composure in front of goal. And they're still in question for me. What I will say is, it came on and put away an absolute fantastic goal, which should have put us 3-0 up. But yeah, I just wanted to just see what you thought about Bamford. I thought he was outstanding.
I think earlier in the season, when he came against Norwich, he looked like he couldn't run anymore. But obviously, he was still slightly injured. And now he's come back and he's looking. I say that, the thing is with Bamford, his position, he's played lone 9. So it's not like he's got to come in and strike a partnership up with someone, because he plays that lone 9 role, occupies 2 centre-backs, better than Joseph, much better than Pirot, much better. And he's a completely different player to Pirot, obviously completely different profile. Suddenly you got someone that's running in on the shoulder, someone that can drop in, someone that wins headers. If you have to go long because you're under pressure as a right back or left back, centre back, whatever, he can actually win that knockdown. He creates something so different for us. I think there's wait till you see my team later on, but for Preston. But I think there's certainly something in Patrick Bamford. And I watched Jer earlier, and Jer said we go through that phase of, he comes back and goes, he can do something for us. He's that striker, blah, blah. And he doesn't do very well. Then he gets injured. Then we're like, sell him. He's useless. So it's all coming.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I've got a few people who mentioned already about him starting. Does Bamford start ahead of Pirot on Saturday? We'll get into obviously preview for that game. I would say no. I mean, just in general, Sean, in terms of starting games, surely we're still a couple more decent sub appearances and building a bit more fitness up off of that discussion. Surely it's working now. He's impactful off the bench. For me, it's still Pirot for 60, 65 minutes, and then maybe look to Bamford if needed. Sean?
Yeah, still can't believe we talk about Patrick Bamford in 2025.
Love it. Love it. There's the line. There's the line. Love it. But yeah, how well did he play though, mate? Come on.
Yeah, he did really well. Listen, let's not get too carried away with Patrick Bamford. Everyone seems to think he's the new Messiah now, and he's going to come back and take us to glory, which I hope he does. I hope he gets the goals he wants. Well, he needs some. He really does need the goals for his confidence. But he looked like a really confident player when he came on, didn't he? And his work rate was fantastic. He got some great tackles in. Listen, he always plays well against Middlesbrough. He's always got a point to prove at Middlesbrough. Let's not get too carried away, right? I hope he does well for us this season. I can't see him starting anytime soon. The only games probably he'll start if he keeps fit with the last 2 games of the season. Something different, completely different to Pirro. We know he's good. I love his shithousery. I love his experience. That's what you need in games like Middlesbrough. When you're up against it, you need somebody like Patrick Bamford who knows how to mix it up. Listen, he made a great tackle on Johnny Howson, that slide tackle. Then he got up, won the ball, played it down the line, 1-2 non-toe, sent Schmidt away. Fantastic. If he can do that for the rest of the season, I'll be really happy. But then can we move on from Patrick Bamford for next season, please?
Yeah, this is the thing, mate. Yeah, like
that's what's annoying me. It's not annoying me, but all these people talking about receipts. I don't. What receipts? Bamford owes a lot of receipts. He's hardly played. He's been injured. We were out end of last season. We go back to his chances he's missed, penalties he's missed in past. Come on, 20-minute cameos, playing well. He's got to do more than that for me. I do like it's an extra option than Joseph, and hopefully he helps us get where we want to be by end of season.
Sean, did I hear you say tomorrow you're off down at Welling Road to get Bamford put on your shirt? Did I hear you say that? No. Did you not say that then? No.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
No, you are right, mate. I've seen a lot of. The problem is you've seen a lot of people, like you say, not only claiming receipts, but a lot of people talking about giving him a deal beyond next season and all. It's just.
We're going down the same route.
Yeah,
Matty, we're going down the same route as last time.
Sean, even if he scores every game now and we get promoted and everyone's loving him, for me, I sort of wouldn't be surprised if he stayed next year and saw his contract out. But I think it's better for everyone he moves on. But I don't want to talk about that now.
No.
But that's what's frustrating, because you can see it. You can see him coming back, having a good couple of games, getting injured again. Everyone forgetting about the rest of it, and then he'll just sit there for another year, and we'll have this again for another 12 months.
What it does say to us, and if we're going to keep Farke for next season, we know what type of striker we need for next season.
We've known it for about 4 seasons.
It's that type of striker, but somebody who can put the ball in the net and don't need 4 or 5 chances to score 1 goal.
He only had one.
Always been Bamford's issue with me.
He only had 1 chance and he put it away, Sean. He only had 1.
Well, that's it. But then he won't score for another couple of weeks. Then.
Now, for me, the best ability is availability. Adam,
he's scored some great goals, mate. And listen, we've got to say it. He has. He's been fantastic for the club. But these past few seasons, he has been. Nobody can say we haven't complained about Patrick Bamford. Nobody can say we haven't had a bad word, because we've all seen it.
Yeah, everyone said it.
He's been chocolate teapot in for ages, isn't he? Like he's not been available. So like he's like you say about that type of striker. That's what everyone wants. That type of striker, a lone 9 that can lead the line, occupy 2 centre backs, come short, win headers, run in behind. Like it's really his skill sets. I'm not saying he's top ranked in any of them, but his skill set in terms of what he can do overall is really good. I'm not saying he's elite any of it. Don't get me wrong, but he's a completely different striker to pro. Completely different. That's what's helping us. How different he is.
Yeah,
that's Joseph, and Joseph isn't that man.
No,
Andy Rose says I banged the Pirro drum all season only because he was the underdog. Farke's style doesn't suit him. Bamford must play based on his Borough cameo.
Yeah, but he can't play 90 minutes. Surely he can't. Not
well, and he won't. And he won't, mate. There's nothing wrong with him coming off the bench. I agree. In terms of stylistically, it'd be perfect to play 90 minutes if he were fit, if he were in form, if he weren't rusty. What I will say is for 20, 25 minutes, if he gives us that, he's going to give us best opportunity in a tight game to nick a win. What I will say about Bamford, the fans, we say we're sort of divided on him out where some people love him, some people hate him, whatever. he gets so much support. Like, as soon as you see, I mean, don't get me wrong, Middlesbrough play their song is his song really, so it was really easy for away fans to just tweak the lyrics, and we were singing him the whole song, the whole game. Sorry, they were singing for Bamford. Every home game he gets it. He gets so much support at the ground, regardless of what's online, regardless of what he's been through, which I know has been pretty shit online over years. He gets so much support from the fans at the stadiums. And he came on and he justified that support, which it's annoyed me at times. I've been at games before and I've been a little bit annoyed because he gets his support where some other people don't. Melier, he gets stick. He's got no song. For me, but Bamford's done stuff similar to Melier. Very similar. Missing penalties, missing sitters at Leicester in Premier League. Bamford's had so many moments, a bit like Melier, just at top end of the pitch over the last 3-4 seasons for me. And he's not fit really to face the music a lot of times. Come the end of the season, he's not fit for the running. And it's peed me off a little bit. So I'll be honest, when he came on and he got, he was getting the support as he comes on pitch, to see him actually perform like that and met me sort of eat my words a little bit. And I will say, Sean, I'm like, we've said, you can't rewrite history. People who slated him and give him stick in the right way or, criticism, it's been justified as long as he hasn't overstepped the mark. But these people, which I'm one of them, has to praise him when he plays well. And he was that was the best I've seen Patrick Bamford. It was only a small cameo. That was the best I've seen him in fucking years, lads, right?
Did you?
And you said, Adam, last time he came on pitch, a few months ago, you didn't think he had legs.
No.
I think he's been playing all these times he's come back. I feel like he's always had a niggle. Had a niggle. I feel like that looked like the first time he hasn't had any form of injury for 3 seasons.
Well, I feel like he was in, like Fark said, he's been full training for like 3 or 4 weeks now. So he's, I think they've given him longer this time.
They haven't rushed him back.
Do you know what? Even the fact he ran when Aronson was going off, Aaron started jogging. He walked over to him. He put his arm around him. He obviously went, "Stop jogging and walk as slowly as you possibly can off this pitch." And Aronson then strolled for as long as the referee would allow him. He's doing his shithouse thing, throwing the ball off pitch. He's even managing the shithouse of everyone else. And what he is a personality. He will get involved in the scrap. He loves a scrap. He's perfect for what we need now. Whether that's cameos, however we manage him, he is perfect because I say, and where he's leapfrogged Joseph. He hasn't leapfrogged Perot because they're 2 completely different players. But he's leapfrogged Joseph definitely in terms of being that all action striker. So that's all he's really done. Whether people there is definitely an argument for starting him, as you'll see from my team later on for Swansea.
What I'll say, Richard, with that is Borough is his game, innit, lads? That is his game. That is the one game he will have pinpointed when he was getting close to fitness. That will have been the one game he'll have wanted to come on and do that. So we just need to see it now for next 5 games.
What did I say earlier on my video? I said it's done well for Leeds United in the last 2 away games. Let's see about the pressure at Ellen Road on Saturday, how he handles it.
But he'll get
This
support.
is what it's always been about with Bamford as well. We've talked about pressure. He can't handle it sometimes, especially from the Leeds United fans. So let's see what he's like at Ellen Road. He's gonna get support because of what he's done at Middlesbrough. He's gonna get his name sang all the time. Listen, we've done some fantastic stuff as Bamford for Leeds United. We've got to remember that. But he's also done some bad stuff as well. But that cameo appearance against Middlesbrough is sort of like everybody thinks we've got the Bamford back from 4 seasons ago, which, again, I'm not getting carried away because look at his injury record, guys. He could get a
maybe it's 5 games, isn't it? It's 5 games. Surely
5 games.
5 games.
And I hope, Adam, and you, Matty, he plays these 5 games. He helps us get promoted. And then he can move on and we can think fondly of him instead of we all thought he was finished.
I agree.
That's what I want for Patrick Bamford.
I agree, mate. 100%. So we'll move on from Paddy. But yeah, he did brilliant and we all agree on that. Just want to touch on the linesman. I know we've sort of touched on it before, but before we move on from that game, I just want to touch on the linesman. It came out today, I think Joe Donahue reported he's now reffing in League One, which sounds great. Been a linesman in League One this week, which sounds great, but he has done it 4 times this season already. So yeah, he's been demoted, but it's something he does regularly. I don't think that's a big enough punishment. I think it was that blatant. I don't know if he's been demoted and gets a fine, but I just don't feel like it's enough because I feel like he'll go to League One, maybe have 1 game or a couple and he'll be back linesman again in Championship. And I mean, I don't know what you think, Adam, in terms of what punishment should be, but he has to really, I think, face the music. He should be called up to a panel. I personally think Daniel he should have to explain because it's happened more than once now. Fortunately, he ain't got to explain why we dropped points and why we're not top of league. Do you know what I mean? Which he's lucky for, really, because that was appalling.
Yeah, but like he's part of it. He's a cog in the wheel, isn't he? He's whatever the country's made of referees and the standard and whoever runs it. It's happening everywhere all the time. It's just unfortunate. Like Fark says, "Oh yeah, it's happened 3 or 4 from that same linesman to us." It's happening. People, there'll be instances like that all over the place. League One, League Two referees. It's professional football. So I was speaking to a mate who's a Barnet fan who are in League Two. He said, "You want to talk about referees? Come watch Barnet. Like that is." He said it's laughable. Linesman, referee, it's laughable. And I think that's the same all the way through. And I think something's got to change, because him just dropping down to League One, I don't know. I guess he gets a lesser match fee, etc. By the way, I think the Bamford one's quite difficult because the defenders coming out at the same time. It was quite clearly on side. The Snackles one's as easy as they get. Like everything's stationary.
You were played on by two. You were played on by two, Adam.
Yeah, it's everything's stationary as well. The defenders are stationary. Snacker's there. You can see the defenders. You can see it all right in front of him. You know, the cross is coming in. It's such a simple. There's no, because you can see it all in one vision. So it's not like, because sometimes you got to do that as a linesman. You got to look at 2 different things at once, because it's not quite all in the same line of sight. But in that, it's just rubbish. And he'll go to League One, but he'll be back in the Championship 2 weeks, and then they'll be discussed again.
My first thought with that, Adam, when I saw it, and I thought, I can't wait for VAR next season.
Oh, mate, there's nothing.
That's how bad it is.
Waiting for 4 minutes to see if what's actually happened with VAR?
They speeded it up now, though.
Sorry,
speeded it up now, yeah.
Well, they celebrate, but people celebrate goals as normal, and then they celebrate extra when VAR confirms it. So it's actually working. I know it's a bit crap. It's just, but the thing is, they need it. I think they can automate more of it, like the lino stuff and the offsides, etc. But I mean, because those, like Wenger was talking about, wasn't he, like daylight between attacker and defender, like, which is. But by the way, all you're doing there is moving the line. So rather than they've got to be in line, they've suddenly got, so you got to see daylight between them. But so the same mistakes will happen, surely. I watched
TalkSport earlier, and Simon Jordan were talking about it. He was saying he thinks the Championship should have it, and I think it's having it next year, as Danny says, for the fact that the Premier League has it, the money that's in the Premier League. But in a game with Leeds United, obviously, but it needs to be spread out really through all the divisions. But you think the money involved in the Championship, if you go up, you are a Premier League side, so you could argue that, if it's going to affect someone coming up, that arguably it is just as big a goal, bigger moment, bigger points as it is for a Premier League game.
Middlesbrough have scored a late equaliser, Matty.
There'd have been a lot.
And it wouldn't have been against the players, because they worked so hard for that win. It'd have been on the officials. And like you said, like Daniel Fax says, there's hundreds of millions of pounds at stake here. This linesman, and that's 4th time this season from the same linesman. He needs to be down in League Two doing some, whatever. But he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be doing any more linesman's work in the Championship.
By the way,
disgusting.
No, it's like they want to ship VAR in, so you do suddenly look at everything in the box, you look at all red cards. Just do the black and white stuff. Do the line, do the goal line, and the automated offsides. Just do that to begin with. Because everything else is subjective still. Some of the referees, the VAR guy, they make mistakes still. Someone looks at a screen and sees it 5 times, and they can't make a decision. Well, you shouldn't be looking at in the first place. Then that's fairly simple. So just take the subjective bits out. I think they should do the same Premier League. Just do the black and white, lino, and on the goal line technology. That's it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's right, Richard. Yeah. Just so you know, I'm putting some starred comments in the top of the end of the show. So if I am starving someone not reading them out, that's why, just so you know. But yeah, moving on from Middlesbrough, let's get the predictor table up, Adam, from there. I'm sure I got the result and the goal scorer right for this one. I'm sure I did. So
you didn't. You got it all wrong, as usual. You don't get many points because you don't.
I'm sure I put 2-1, James.
You make some guesses and they're always wrong. That's what you do, Matty. Whereas Shaw makes guesses and they're always right. It's the way the table's set up.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Like,
if I'd have put money on these bets, I'd have been quids in, wouldn't I?
What did you put, Sean, for?
I went 1-1 Luton and 1-0 Middlesbrough. Did I get goal scorer as well?
You don't think you did? You? I don't know. You.
Can't remember.
You've got 5 correct score lines so far.
Fucking hell.
It's Yeah, I've only got 2. Stephen Horsman's got 3, which is Nick's most, which puts him 3rd. But yeah, there were quite a few people. There's a couple of new people in it as well, and quite 4 or 5, I think. I think Nige D got the correct score. Sean Healy got a correct score. I know that as well. I was so proud of him when he did it. Like I know he cares. I know he looks for his and say he's climbed up to 12th. We're well happy with that. But I fear Sean needs to have the rest of the season off, and I think he still wouldn't be catched. That's the problem we got now.
It's looking like the actual championship table, like, isn't it? Just 3 at top, just sort of pulling away, and rest of us. I mean, I can't believe I'm 7th, but I'm like 16 points behind. That's mental. That like 1 point off 4th, but just
Just quickly then, so I'm sure everyone knows now, 3 points correct score, 1 point for the correct result, and 1 point for the goal scorer, so you can get maximum 5 per game. But if you get the score line wrong, but you get a result and the goal score, you get 2 points, etc., etc. You can just get the goal scorer. So every match gives a score prediction and 1 goal scorer, and then it all goes fed into the table. So we need everyone to do that, please, for the Swansea game on Saturday.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'll put mine in, don't copy.
I can't copy, I'll never catch you. I'm going to have to do something different no matter what.
Have to do something different.
Have you done 2-0?
I'm going to go 2-0 Leeds.
Oh, I knew you.
What?
Everyone's sure. I was going to do 2-0 as well. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll start.
I'm going to do 3-1 Leeds then. 2-1 tight until like 85th minute, and we'll get a first.
2-0 Pirro. Do you want me to put it in?
Yeah,
you can do. Before we go into, we're not jumping into preview just yet, but everyone can start banging the scores and their 1 goal scorer down now if you want. I'm going to go 3-0 Leeds. I'm going to back Pirro to get one. I'm going to back him to get the monkey.
I better say what I'm going to. Yeah. What did I say? 3-1. Nonto.
Do you want me to put it in for you?
That's fine. I can remember my own one.
Yeah, you'll remember it and you'll tweak it depending on score.
Oh, well, if I need to, I need to.
But yeah, as that's happening, so as we say, we've got a poll in there currently. Could end this now. Milner's on 81%. Cook's got 0. Charlie Taylor's got 2%. Someone actually voted for Charlie Taylor. I can't believe
Why has no one voted for Cook? He was good.
I thought he'd get it over Taylor.
Milner was cheat code in there, wasn't he?
Housen's on 16%. I thought Housen was outstanding, by the way, for Middlesbrough. 36-year-old playing at centre. I thought he played really well. Yeah, had a really good career as Housen, to be fair to him, in the Championship. Anyways, I'm really excited for this one. So last week's poll winner was none other than the Ballon d'Or winner on ice, because that's coming. And if that don't come...
That's money, by the way.
Leeds fans are going to go nuts like he's still our player. Because
and we get money for that as well.
We do, mate. It's in his contract, apparently, isn't it?
Do we know how much?
No.
How many times will that get put into a contract and we'll never get exercised?
Maybe it's been in every player's contract we've ever sold. You thought of that?
Imagine, mate. Charlie Taylor's got a Ballon d'Or. Yeah. Chris Wood is having a good season at Forest. Like, come on, Chris Wood, you might get Ballon d'Or. Anyways, he's done this like he always does. Adam's put this together. Spends a lot of time, does Adam, on the effects and bits and bobs on this show. So big up, and yeah, let's enjoy this of Raphinha. What a guy. Lads, this wasn't even long ago. And he was playing for us, lads. This wasn't even long ago.
Hey, look at that picture. I said Raphinha and Belter.
I've got a semi, sorry.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
That's a lovely goal as well. That was 5-0, was it? Jeez.
Top bins. Good night.
See you later.
The problem we've got, he's the best player we'll ever see play for Leeds United. I mean, I've never seen someone make it look so easy and everything he does was so different. By the way, look at the pass detail from Cooper here. Look, onto his left foot.
Beautiful pass that.
How good is that? Aronson could dream of that.
Yeah.
Liam Cooper. Rodrigo step over.
Love that.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Come on.
It's silly, isn't it? It's just silly.
What a left foot.
Oh, Harry Kane, poor guy.
Thing is, as well, I genuinely felt when he left Leeds, he will go and be one of the best players in the world. Genuinely believed it. On front of FIFA covers and all that. It's all what I expect of him.
Get that, Adam. What that?
Let's get rid of it more and more.
Love that.
that's what we don't have now, by the way. I know I'm not a Brazilian international. The guy edge of the box who just can score, like, goal from nowhere. Not goal from nothing. Oh,
Look at that. What a guy.
Great team.
I think I'll go get Raphinha on my shirt instead of Bamford.
Honestly.
That is quality.
Honestly, chat, yeah.
Fantastic.
Adam, well played with that, mate. How good is that of Adam and Pam that together? And just honestly, how do you feel, chat, watching that? Probably a little bit sad. But what a player. What an absolute delight. I'm welling up with emotion watching him. I did last week with Bielsa clips, and it's just, really good times. It's just phenomenal that first season back in Premier League, lads. And such a special moment. We said with Bielsa, enjoy it while it's here. We had Raphinha for, 2 seasons. The first season was a delight. The second season was a tough one, which the scenes at Bournemouth on that last day, just in such a short space of time, he left such a mark. And I tell you what, he set a benchmark that's going to be very hard for any player to hit anytime soon. Don't matter how good. But it also showed, with Orta and all these people who did get a lot of signings wrong, left the club in a state. If you look in the right places, there's talent out there that some big clubs haven't got the cojones, I don't know why, to maybe put 17, 18 million down and take a risk on someone like this. And he now is currently the best player in the world. And he was only, 17, 18 million?
17 million.
4 seasons ago. And now look at him. He is the best player currently in the world. And yeah, just jump in, lads. Jump in, take it away.
Just quickly on that before we get emotion stuff. Like, that's where you get hope going up. Lots of the big clubs don't want to buy guys like this that aren't proven in some capacity, aren't really excelling. There's loads of value in the European market still. I mean, Raphinha, there'll never be one like him. 17 million, because Doku, I think, went to Rennes at the time, and they need to sell him. And he played the game before. I didn't even know he was. And I watched the Rennes game from that day, and he did an amazing assist from across. I thought, oh yeah, he'll do. And then he came in, and one of my mates said, I think it's like Mahrez. I said, that's funny. Like, I said, watch out for Raphinha. He looks like a bit of a Mahrez to me, and he's better. He's better. Like, he's gone on to be better. Like, incredible good footballer. Remember making his debut for Brazil while he was at Leeds United. The pride. I mean, having a Brazilian debutant in our squad, like, it's just nuts. Like, it's just crazy how good a footballer he was. We're so lucky to have him for the little time we did have him. And even like when he left, he could have not played as well against Brentford, got relegated, left for half the amount of money, and got a bigger signing on fee.
100%.
Instead, he's in there with the fans after winning the game for us. Like, what a man, what a guy, what a player.
It reminded me a little bit of, obviously, my favourite player, Yeboah. He should have been at the club longer than he actually was. He came in, did Raphinha, star player. But Bosnas says, he got us straight. He got Leeds United. He got us straight away. He loved the club, and it didn't matter where you put him or played. Long throws, right back, right wing back, wherever he played or had to do, he did it though, and he didn't complain. He got on with it, and there he literally,
that goal he set up for.
He literally just did it all on by himself. He dragged us through games. Did Raphinha sometimes.
That goal he set up for Joffrey against Norwich as well. That was just, even they wanted that run round it keeper and squaring it back. That was just unbelievable moment. He was just a big game player, and he always delivered when it was a huge game. And his talent it was just way beyond what we'd expect. I know we'd had some good seasons in Championship, but we all know it turned water into wine at Bielsa. And we knew they were a really good team with Leeds United under Bielsa, but they didn't really have any star quality. And then all of a sudden we get to Prem and we have him and we have Rodrigo, and all of a sudden you're seeing players we haven't seen for near 20 years. That sort of level of caliber of player. We get to Premier League and we've got somebody who is actually at that level, not just outperforming his level. He's at that level. He's at world level, and we saw it for 2 seasons, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal times.
I think he made his debut against Crystal Palace, but I think before that, or not long after, I turned on the under 23s at the time on a midday Monday game, and he was playing right wing for the under 23s because he needs some match practice. Bielsa just goes, "I'll go do that." Like, he didn't seem to have any. He's obviously in training. Marsh goes, "Okay, lads, we're all going to see how far we can throw the ball," and he go, "Right, yeah, great." Well, I mean, it's just.
You even want to be the best at that. He even want to be the best long thrower in the club.
Yeah.
But his dream was to go play for Barcelona, and he has done, and he's ripping it up in it. And fair play to him. I mean,
And he's had a bit of adversity there, hasn't he? He didn't start out like house on fire. It took him a season to find his feet.
Yeah.
And now he's took the roof off.
Yeah.
I think even when he was leaving, though, like Chelsea wanted him, Arsenal wanted him, and Barcelona weren't offering the right amount of money. But
he didn't want to go to Chelsea, did he?
But there's no massive noise about him desperately, like saying just accept the 30 or 35. He was sort of, the club were holding out for more, and he didn't like become a massive fuss to go. I think he sat back and waited as well. Like he thought he got the club, he understood the club, he understood the fans. I think he understood what it all meant, and he was willing to wait. He didn't kick up a fuss about anything. As I say, and he could have done nothing at Brentford, got relegated, and probably got £10 million more from Barcelona as a signing on fee as a result.
Yeah, Barcelona captain, Brazil legend already in the making, and just insane. But yeah, I love that. I'm absolutely buzzing. We chose to bang him in Paul last week because look at my face. Yeah.
It was a fun one put together.
I've definitely made a semi-final tonight. Let's put it that way. But yeah, you two, Wilco Whites. Please check out. Danny puts the links in the chat, but please make sure you check out Sean at Wilco Whites. It's a massive part of my channel, massive part of this show. Want to give Sean a bit more of a shout than I normally do. Please check out the link once this is finished. Go give Wilco White some love. We want to get him 200 subs as soon as possible, please. So please go over there. And he actually does his research, and he knows more than I do. So I'm lucky to have him as part of this. Hey, don't do that.
What a genius.
Oh wow, what a genius! Yeah, well, he knows a little bit more than me as well. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. What a good 3-0 the other night, mate. What genuinely has a Leeds team shirt signed next to his Ronaldo and Messi shirt, seeing the image from his house. That's class. See, he speaks very fondly of him. I see images on Instagram and stuff of Raphinha, and he'll still be sat chilling in Leeds United shorts and stuff like. Yeah, he's one of them players who just gets it. Once Leeds, always Leeds, and that carries through with some. And I think he'll always have a special place in our heart, and I think we'll always have one in his for the rest of his life. To be fair, and yeah, it's brilliant that we were part of his journey to the top. Bielsa probably played a part in that as well, which is really nice and really romantic for us Leeds fans to dwell on, isn't it? But moving on, question of the week. So from a massive high to a, let's not make it too low, but question of the week. This was my choices, and I'm not going to use a certain word, but I'm going to say Ramazani. That's a Raphinha then, I wish. Ramazani, want to know, what is the crack with Ramazani? And does it even matter? Is he even needed? That's sort of where I want to go with question of the week, because I'm a massive Ramazani fan. I've been, I put my points out this week. A lot of people don't agree. I know you guys do agree, and I don't really like having too many people agreeing on a panel show, but it is what it is. I think we're all quite like-minded, and we do agree on this point with Ramazani. I feel I said the word lie on another show, and maybe that was a little bit too strong. But I feel it's been exaggerated that he isn't performing in training to the levels needed by Farke. I think maybe he's setting him a little bit higher for him, because I personally think he just doesn't fancy him. I don't know if I have this thing with Farke where I think if you're a bit of a maverick, someone who likes to take risks, potentially lose a ball in positions, what then makes someone maybe get a yellow card 15 tackles later, a bit detrimental to your playing. And I feel like he has had this in his locker before, Farke, where certain players just don't get on the pitch. The fan base want to see more of him. We had it with Cresswell. We had it last season with Jadon Anthony, but we weren't too bothered. But I think now with Dan James being out, and it being a third game in 7 days, I would be shocked if Ramazani doesn't see the pitch on Saturday. But if he doesn't, I would like to think my point is proven, that there's something more in it than he just isn't true. Because surely he's dropped down the pecking order, but now Dan James is out as well, Adam. There's got to be some talk now of, I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's all, second to the result. I understand it's all just, as long as we win, it doesn't matter who plays. I get that. But what's your take on the Ramazani current situation?
I think you say we don't need to labour it, because it is what it is, and the chances are in 2 years' time, neither of the guys, him or Farke, will be at Leeds United.
Probably not.
But so you want to look at the facts and see that he's had one start since he got injured against Watford. Now, obviously, he had to get back fit, but he's not got a jot of a look in since then. So, and that's a real microscope on Farke's squad management, and that is what he does. He is in football. You have good and bad players. I think it's hard. If you're in the first 11 Farker, you're very close to being a bad player because you don't get a look in. You come on for 10, 15 minutes a game. You can't, loads of players can't make an impact. I keep saying that in that time frame. Everyone gets judged on 10, 15 minutes. So easy, but it's not fair. It's not right. And then they get thrown in for one game, they're not match sharp. So that, and Farker doesn't do squad management. He just doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. If you got 11, I think 2025, Luton's first game he changed. James Solomon Aronson played every single game, started every single game 2025 before Luton. Every single one. He doesn't do squad management, right? So then he's got someone's asked about Ramazani after the match. He could have said, "Oh, you know, like it just wasn't the game for him." Steady goes off on one, starts moaning about, you know, he's Jules and, you know, completely unnecessary. There's nothing to gain from that at all. Then someone asked about it again, and then the only reason he starts to talk about is bollocks of him getting Tanaka a yellow card in a different phase of play, which then causes a goal later on, is to justify his own point. He was trying to back up his own ego so big, it was all about him. And then he's coerced, he's grabbed Ramazani in a match and made him go for it. He has seeked Ramazani out for his own PR, for his own ego, to make it a point. It's all about him, right? That's it. Be all and end all. Ramazani's not nothing, and he's grabbed him and said, "Oh, come celebrate me." What's Ramazani going to punch him? What's he going to do? Walk off? What can he do? He has to walk over with him, right? So that's what he did.
It was a PR stunt for me.
There's people making presumptions. He's happy about that. You can see from face he wasn't happy about it. He didn't instigate any of that, and nothing was proved other than Fark moving him to celebrate with Fark, and it was for Fark. And that's it. He's not a Fark signing. He doesn't really particularly rate him. Solomon showed off all the way around. Come off QPR, showed off walking around all around the pitch. Showed off all the way. If that was Ramazani, we wouldn't have heard the end of it. Because Solomon's one of his guys. It's fine.
Solomon's a lone player as well, mate. This is what I don't understand.
Solomon does not run back. He's lazy. He's lazy. He doesn't track back properly. He does track back.
Ramazani does.
He doesn't track back. Ramazani tracks back better. By the way, as well, what we'll say about Ramazani, he's shown real petulance in some of his performances. There's no doubt about that. But whatever Fark is supposed to be doing, even if it's all right for the best intentions, he's doing it really badly. And that's all I've got. That's it. You know, we can all guess his meanings and what he thinks. I think I know what he means, you know, like, and what the motive behind it all. But ultimately, he's managed to get nothing out of Ramazani this season since that Watford game. And that's on him. That's his squad management. And that goes for a lot of players.
Yeah. Sean, do you want to touch on out there?
Yeah.
Adam just love that, Adam.
No, I think we agree, you know.
Yeah, we do.
How we can come out and blame Ramazani or Tanaka not making a tackle for the second goal is
that is like
ridiculous.
Yeah.
What about Joseph with a bad touch? And actually, Joe Allen put it through Tanaka's legs, so there were no. He never even attempt to make a tackle. And then there's Stroik. You know, it went through his legs. And then you've got Melier who jumps out of the way. What? That's where the goal came from. That's nothing to do with the yellow card that Tanaka picked up earlier on in the game, caused by Ramazani. But listen, I did some stats on Ramazani.
Yeah.
Jules won. It's the same as Brendan Aronson.
Yeah, it is.
Why is it all right for Brendan Aronson to keep losing the ball time after time, game after game, putting us under pressure, and he's not even doing it. He's leaving him in the team. So to pick a fault like that on Ramazani, it's you know, you could class it. It's scandalous. I feel so sorry for the lad. And like we talked about him, he pushed Ramazani to the front to try and wave. He didn't want to. His face said it all. That picture of them both stood with their arms up. It's not. It doesn't say that full story of that.
I saw the full story, Sean, because I was looking at him. I watched it
on telly. You could see his face on telly, and then when they turned round, his face when he just walked away. Did Ramazani? He didn't want to know. So there's definitely an issue there. He's pissed off. Ramazani's pissed off, and rightly so.
I think
he can play it down all he wants.
I think the thing is, it's an argument that has caused a bit of a ruckus for me this week, but there's no way of knowing, because the facts are, if he isn't showing it in training, then he shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, fine.
But I think there's enough in that now where you can see that Farker. But at the end of the day, in life, sometimes you just don't like someone. Is it that hard to believe that Farker, right, who's a manager to 20 plus people, likes and loves every single one of them. It's bollocks. So just because he's a football manager, why can he not like a player? This is where I'm coming from. It's like I'm speaking fucking Chinese or something that no one understands when I'm saying it. I just don't think he likes him. I think there's enough in that. Some people say, what I will say as well, he criticised Tanaka in public, right? He criticised Ramazani in public. I don't think that should be the right way. Certain people have said that you criticise people in the public for certain reasons to get a reaction. What I will say is Tanaka got criticised in public 3 games ago now, or 2 games ago. He's played poor. I know he played a bit better in terms of stats, but he hasn't played well for 3 games now since getting criticised. He walked off the pitch crying. Farke got asked about it and started talking about all these reasons why he might be crying. Plus one of them was Joseph's injured. Went through all this stuff and didn't say the fact that I publicly humiliated him 2 weeks ago, right? For me, that was probably the main reason why he's running on empty. I understand, but he's also his form. He isn't quite at it. And I think he isn't somebody who can take public criticism and kick on from it. And I also think Ramazani isn't. And what I will say with that is he isn't getting the opportunity, Ramazani, to show that has affected him in a positive way, because he isn't getting the minutes on the pitch to say, I mean, if he comes on and scores an hat-trick on Saturday, you can turn around and go, to be fair, that's kick-up pass he needed, but he's not giving him the minutes to do it. So I don't want to go too deep into it, because I know we sort of have now when we shouldn't have done, really, because it's really positive. I'm buzzing where we are right now, but it is a talking point this last week that Farke has thrown a few people under the bus, and I don't think it's helped, if I'm honest.
But the reason for him not playing is the fact that he gave the ball away and Tanaka had to make a professional foul. That's the reason he gave when he didn't need to say anything. You know, obviously, yeah, okay, might not be performing in training, but come on, you know,
it's the art of management, isn't it? Why
you can't just drop somebody out of the squad totally, not drop him out of the squad, but not give him minutes and literally make him feel like he is doing because of something so trivial like that.
The art of management, right? When you ask why is Ramazani not playing, you're also asking why is Schmidt playing.
I disagree, right? Bob. I disagree with Bob here. This is what I mean.
Just quickly, sorry. When you ask why Ramazani's not playing, you're also asking why Schmidt's not playing. So that's an opportunity, if you're smart, to go because Schmidt's been really good of late. Schmidt's been on it in training. So you build Schmidt up and you don't criticise Ramazani, right? That's good management. So instead, he's criticised Ramazani and says, "Oh, Schmidt's been okay, whatever." But actually, you could just take it all as a positive. And I honestly, like, Farke's not a genius. He's not I manage loads of people work. I make mistakes very, very occasionally. You know, sometimes you make mistakes, even though I manage people all my life. So like that does happen. And this is one of them. It's just one of them. And I don't see how all the proof doesn't point to that. All of it.
Well, it's all proven. But what I will say is he's improved Dan James. He's improved Fairpoint. He has done brilliant with some players, but he has also, I think, let other players down. You know, and you can't say. Go on, madam, jump in.
And by the way, sorry, what Bobby said there is absolutely fair enough. If he scores 2 goals on Saturday, if he has an electric performance, you go, oh, you can sway towards it a little bit. But ultimately, we've wasted Ramazani for nearly a whole season so far. So I don't know why it's going to start getting better from here. Why didn't he say this 2 months ago? Like, then we can have him for the rest of he's suddenly just writing him off. He could be ultimately saying it and not using him. So
the tough love. What you're saying there, Bob, could be fine, but there's no proof of that yet. He's done tough love on Tanaka, and it's proven it hasn't worked for me. The tough love on Tanaka hasn't worked. He's give Ramazani tough love, and I know what you mean, different strokes, different folks and all that, but there's no proof yet. If he'd have come on and played well, I could have said, yeah, fair enough, that kick-up arse is what he needed, but there's been no proof of that yet. What I will say is if he doesn't play on Saturday, with Dan James being out, with it being 3rd game in a week, then I think these people have to open their eyes and say this. It's a little bit deeper. But what I will say is I expect him to touch grass on Saturday. And if he goes and has a great game, which I expect him to do when he does see the grass, then we can have that discussion. I can go, fair enough, it worked. But until that happens, I think, there's more to it. But
and by the way, we've all got our views, and I don't really care either. Just win the game.
Yeah, but it's been a big talking point this week, hasn't it? It's been a massive talking point this last few weeks. Farke's man management, Farke, how he's addressed certain people in public, how he doesn't address other people in public. I am a firm believer that he's, even if it's a couple of people in training, not, what's he doing? Is he playing cards? Is he turning up half an hour late? I doubt it. I'm sure he's putting in effort. I see him running up and down that touchline, celebrating goals, giving it as much as everybody else. I don't see training, no, but what I do see is I also see people playing 90 minutes for Leeds United who aren't playing well in game. And that's what we pay his money for. Yet someone who's apparently a little bit below it in training can't even touch grass, but someone who could play poor week after week people have played all season. Melier, loads of people. I'm not singling people out. People have underperformed this season and played match after match after match. And we're singling someone out here who's been a little bit off it in training, apparently. I don't agree with that either. Sometimes the best players aren't the best in training. We know that. Sometimes you allow that.
Don't it feel like he's punishing him? Shouldn't he be giving him more confidence and saying, right, look, I'm going to give you a go Saturday. You go out there and you prove it to me that you know, and he will do. For me, just totally not bringing him on and not playing him, that's punishment, is that? And it's not deserved. It ain't deserved. I'm not saying start him. I'm not saying he walks into the side, but it's not fair. It's not fair how he's handled Ramazani, and you can tell by Ramazani's face still, and that's in my head when he were pushing him towards the fans. If Ramazani had been all right about it, there'd have been no issue. He'd have had his arm around him and he'd have walked out, and he'd have done it.
Ultimately, by the way, like I say, it's all it means to an end. Like just get promoted. Like,
of course it is, yeah.
Like we're just talking about a subject, and we all happen to agree on it. It's fine. I think the way we see it, I think the proof's all there. I don't see it any other way. Ultimately, bottom line, he's got nothing out of Ramazani since the Watford injury. Nothing, and that's bad management. He's not managing squad. So Schmitz played all season, right? This is a really good an indictment of squad management. Schmitz played all season. He's on the left wing in a game. Schmitz a workable winger, right? He can get back, he can track back, he can keep the ball. He won't never beat a man. He just won't. No. So, and his crossing's okay, right? But he's playing left wing, and we have Solomon, Nonto, and Ramazani all sitting on the bench at that time. And Smith's just wandering around the left wing as our left winger, in a game we need to win to get it's just like, that is fart squad management, just there in a whatever, like that, and that is it. It's just summarised to me perfectly in that moment.
No, it is what it is, mate, and we'll agree. Like I say, Bob, he hasn't needed Ramazani. I think we have needed Ramazani in certain games, 100% when we've been lacking creativity.
He's not a good player, though.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? But like
Scott, a good player. He's got skills.
By the way, he's a brilliant winger. I know he's not a system player. He's not going to retain the ball all the time, but there's a place for that sort of player, and there's definitely a place for that sort of player in certain games. There's 100%. No doubt about it.
And it's like Andy Rose says there is still time for Ramazani. He is going to be, I think he still will be here next season. So whether we're up or still in this league. So 100%. There is still time for him.
By the way, so people with this cash in checks bollocks, right? And they go, Ramazani to his 2 goals Saturday. Fark's right. Well, why wasn't Ramazani playing 12 games ago then? Why have we had to wait till now, till 5 games a season to get the best out of him? Do it, get him back fit, manage your squad, manage your team, get your best out of all your players, best you can. And Fark is definitely not. That's
what I'm saying.
I can't argue the case on that. He's not done it.
No, that's what I'm saying. And it's one of them. It's just a talking point. Like I say, Scott, we're buzzing. We're absolutely buzzing, mate.
Buzzing.
But we like to be on here for
bees,
a couple of hours away from wives. So we're talking about the win. We can't string that out for 2 hours. It was a great performance. We've already touched on that. This is just question of the week, mate. It's been a massive talking point this week. I'll leave it on. I'm just a firm believer that, if you're a top manager, you're good enough on training pitch where you're not having to speak in public about players to get the best out of them, for me. But we will move on from that, mate. We will move on. Just wanted to bring this one up. Tanaka has been a bit off it. Said Duncan recently for me. It's down to the fact he's knackered. Yeah, 100%, mate. He did say, didn't he? Did Farker is running empty. Liam says he's not good at management. Andy, Matty, the daughters of jar for Isaac Schmidt. There's still time for Ramazani. Yeah, 100%. And, it could be another spin on it, right? If Schmidt and Ramazani have big minutes and big moments, there'll be people turning around and going, it was like 2 new signings. He managed them well, didn't he? Because the last 5 games when people were tired, we had 2 brand new signings, which we hadn't seen all season. So there's loads of avenues and lanes we can go down. But like I say, I think we are the only 3, well, not quite, but almost the only people on the YouTube scene talking this way. And I like how we don't agree with the masses, and we will put us, head above the parapet and say, this is how we feel. And anybody in the chat is right to say how they feel too. And it's just a talking point. We're buzzing where we are right now. And Farker, we all believe, is going to get us promoted. So it's happy fucking days. Anyways, moving on. Preview for Preston. I would love to know, Adam, before we go into what we're going to talk about Preston, I'd love to know your lineup, mate.
Oh, well, I've made a graphic.
I would love to know your lineup for
Don't worry.
Preston, mate.
Now, if
I'm
you
really
read that,
intrigued.
if
Wow.
you give her that chat from Andy, good old Andy, there you go.
That's it.
Right, what I'm going to explain myself before you both have a go at me. Okay. Defense fine, everyone's happy, right? Midfield set 2 in the front, right? Okay. So now get to the attacking midfielders. I'm presuming James is out. Nonto naturally comes in the right midfield. Then you haven't got Nonto's play attacking midfield at 10. So then I'm like, okay, I don't want to play Aronson. I just don't want to play Aronson. Okay, where's the options? I haven't got a lot of options. Pro has to go back in there. What, by the way, James out. We no longer have the threat in behind of Dan James. Perot doesn't do it when he plays 9. Solomon rarely does it. So we have no threat in behind. So then the choice. So I think we do need that threat, even if a team, because teams lately, I say they're pushing up a little bit higher, they're pressing our back line, and we need the opportunity every now and then just dink a ball over the top and turn a defense around. Perot just doesn't do it, right? So we need that option. Without James and team, we need that option. So for me, that's where Bamford comes into it. You say the 90-minute thing, fine. And by the way, I love the idea. I do like the simplicity of almost that 2 up front. I do like the idea. And I think teams lately have been pressing our back line. We've had to go a little bit more direct at times. Having 2 guys up there, Bamford. Oh, look, Richard, mate,
just based on the foot.
I 100% agree with you. I hate when people write teams out and they write the left back first, that sort of stuff. I hate it. Left back, left back, right back. I'm massive on that, by the way. But Tanaka was already right there, and I couldn't be bothered. And you're 100% right. I should have done it, but I didn't. So Solomon's obviously going to be picked. I don't play Aronson, and that's where Bamford comes in. And I say he offers what we're going to be lacking, or an angle, or an avenue, or a difference that James offers by running behind. It could have been Joseph, maybe should have been Joseph, but I think Bamford's leapfrog Joseph at the moment. Yes. If you can get 55, 60 minutes out of him, I'm not saying we can. I'm not saying, he still has the 9 artistry that Bielsa taught him, right? And I love that. And you see it when he comes on, the way he plays number 9, occupies centre backs, runs it behind, drops in, wins headers, holds it up, players play off him. He's brilliant, all that stuff. I'm playing off front. I'm not expecting to score goals or anything like that, but
Oh God!
I know I've upset myself, Richard. Do you know what, Richard? It's on a Thursday. I didn't have my extra day. We're all self-diagnosed ADHDers here. Maybe Sean's not. I don't know. But
I believe him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do everything last minute, and I could not be. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to just.
You're gonna come off here and change that, aren't you? Now.
I don't want to look at it again. That's for sure.
Adam, can I just ask you, what do you think the likelihood is he goes with that? If you're honest, I know that's what you would like. Do you think it's?
I think it's feasible. I think it's possible.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I do.
I'd disagree.
I do as well.
I don't think Bamford's fit enough. I like that lineup. I wouldn't be against it. If you wanted to take Aronson out of the game, out of the team,
game's fine. Game's fine.
Out of the team, I'd put Joseph in instead of Bamford.
Nah.
Yeah.
Let him run and run at the defenders, and then bring Bamford on second half for the last 30 minutes. He's not fit enough for 90 minutes. You can't be at Bamford. But I think I like
Bamford could unlock Pro as well. Play with back to goal. I think you can play it up to him. You can stick, and you can play Pro have more space. But you're right. It depends on his fitness. Depends if you need to get 60 minutes. If you can't play 60 minutes, you can't start. Right?
No, I like the idea of the tool, though. Like you said, Adam, there. I like that idea.
And with no James, I think that's a big miss. There's suddenly you're missing that guy that runs behind endlessly. So you've got to have a guy. Bamford will play on the shoulder. So,
or Nonto in the 10 again. Do we try Nonto in the 10 again at home and bring? Well, it'd be Schmidt, won't it, or Ramazani on that right hand side?
Don't see it.
That's another option. I can't see it. Maybe Schmidt. I could see Schmidt.
I think Nonto starts something right. I think I'd love to see Solomon come out 3 games in a week, and he hasn't been setting the world alight, but he's probably going to go with that. I honestly think Aronson plays in 10, and I think Pirro starts up front. I think the problem with starting Joseph in the striker, and I don't think he plays Pirro at 10 from off. I just don't. It's not something we've seen this season. He hasn't started him in the 10. We've seen it last season. I don't think he does, and I can't foresee Pirro and Bamford being on bench either, and I can't foresee Joseph playing with Aronson behind him. So for me, I think it's going to be that side, exactly how you put it, but it's going to be Aronson in 10. It's going to be Pirro up top, and I don't think it needs to be anything but, to be honest. But at home, Aronson is just so dogged. He runs around, and You know, he's rat like in here. He wins a ball, he loses whatever. He brings what he brings. But when you Piddo's playing up front, you've got to play Aronson in 10. We know that's a fact. I think that will be the side, and I think Bamford comes on and does his bits as we've seen.
I think, but the problem is as well, like, you know, game on Tuesday, game Saturday, freshen it up. 2-3 players be nice. You know, Nonto's starting great. Bamford in this as well. So there's only 2 players, but otherwise, if you keep Perot and Aronson, it's one change, forced change. And that's probably, you know, it's fair James is fit. I'm sure he played exactly the same team. But that's what keeps getting us into trouble, I think. And I say, teams are playing that way against us, high press. This Bamford gives you the option of going more direct. Joseph also gives you the option, but I don't think he's as good at it. So I say, and you keep saying that, sorry, I know, but that option to run in behind as well, which with Nonto, Solomon, Aronson, there's no one running behind, no one, and Perot up front. You've got no threat in behind at all. And suddenly, you know, the defence can just push up as far as they want because it doesn't matter. Against that attacking 4, you can push up as far as you want and they can squeeze us even more. I think we'll come under more stress defensively by not having someone, either a Bamford or a Joseph, on the final line and running behind. I think we actually, James, I think we need it. I think it's imperative, in fact.
Do you think he can play 60 minutes, 70 minutes?
I hope so, because I think he has been. I think Fark said he's been full train 4 weeks. So, you know, he's a couple of little cameos now. I think
I wouldn't be against it, mate. I would not be against that at all. No, but it's just his fitness for me. That's the worry.
I agree, Richard. I'd like that. Obviously, after what we've touched on already, but I just don't see it. I'd be shocked if he came out of Wilderness and started the game. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Have you guys looked into Preston in general?
Yeah, I've had a look into Preston.
I like that, mate. I like that you've done that. Have you got a few more bits you want to fire at us, pal?
Okay. Preston, 16th in the league, won 10, drawn 19. Drawn 19 games this season, lost 12. They're on 49 points, 7 points from the relegation zone. Obviously managed by no other than Paul Heckingbottom. They've scored 5 goals in the last 5, conceded the most penalties this season with 5. They haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 7 matches. Form, they've only won once in the last 10 league games.
Set up nicely, innit? Set up nicely.
Losing 3, drawing 6, winning 1. Big miss. They've got Freddie Woodman, the goalkeeper. He's out for the season. Also, Brad Potts right back. They've got a couple of other injuries. Top goal scorer for them is Jacobson with 10 goals, 2 assists, and Osmajic with 8 goals, 3 assists. Sam Greenwood obviously will be not allowed to play in this game because he's on loan. Is that right? I think it is, isn't it?
I hate that, me, you know. I always say that. I hate that. Just let him play. If you don't think he's good enough, let him play. I hate that, me. Yeah, I hate it.
We might be paying some of his wage.
I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a shit. You don't think he's good enough? Let him play. Let him prove.
You can't pay him to play against us.
No, because he'll score a free kick against us, Matty. You know he will.
You can't, but I have bothered me. Let him play. Let him play.
Yeah, so they've still got something to play for of Preston. Obviously, they're only 7 points. They should be fine, but again, it's never over till it's over, is it? But again, looking at that form, winning once in 10, it's not great, and they do concede goals. So
I think they'll probably go 5-3-2. I think 2 big guys up front, go direct. I think they're first or second in the league for most fouls per 90, and then first or second for most yellow cards over the season. So you know exactly what you're going to get.
Sorry, I was looking at that comment. Sorry.
Yeah, Preston. So I think you know exactly we can get fairly direct, not looking to hold on to the ball. The thing is, they're going to play exactly the same way that every team thinks they've found the joy of lately. Is so the couple of big guys up front, high press, move the defence up a few yards, space be in the middle of the pitch. If we can exploit it, we exploit it. If we don't, we don't. And then it's going to be a very scrappy game, I'd imagine. It'll be quite disjointed. I don't think we won't have long phases of pressure or anything like that. I don't think. I don't think that teams don't sit back against us anymore. Ultimately, I think the first 15 minutes. I think it's a massive game. If we score in the first 15 minutes, I think we go on to win it quite comfortably. And if we win it quite comfortably, I think that's a real statement at this stage of the season for other teams and really importantly our own players. Because I think the Borough games just stop that slide. And now if you can win this one comfortably, then you will go on to get promoted. I think it's that sort of game.
It might be a good game for us, Adam, as well, because we might not need to play with as much intensity against Preston. as we do against Middlesbrough. The guys will be feeling it this week. They put everything in that Middlesbrough game.
100%.
Yeah.
Hoping it's just going to be a nice, steady, and we say that to most games, nice, steady 2-0 win, because I predicted that.
That's what it'll be.
That's what I want, and I think that's what we need. I think that's what the lads need. But again, it's an hard one because we still don't want to rest on his laurels. We know it's always tough in this league against any team you play. We still got to keep some sort of standard and try and keep that work rate slightly high. But again, like the chat's saying, if we can get some early goals, guys, that'd be great.
It's almost
first 15 is massive. I think get that goal early. I think we're laughing. I think we'll just kick on from there. I think we win probably 3-1 because that's what I predict. That's what I think.
What I don't want to see though is us to get an early goal and then just take us foot off the gas.
We do it all the time, don't we? It's been the pattern of our season.
Teams like
perfect game, really, isn't it? This because they can't go down, they can't get playoffs. It's a perfect game, in it at home against a side that we always say there's that tournament on the beach. You know, it's still got 5 games to go. There's a while yet, but for me, it's the perfect game now. You know, we've shown we can win pretty at times. We've shown now we can win when it's tough and we're getting kicked about, and there's a lot of pressure on us. The only thing for me is the pressure of being at Ellen Road. I think everything's pointing to us winning this game. It comes back to mentality. I'd like to see a performance, Adam. You're right. I'd like to see a good performance as well as the 3 points. Albeit it doesn't really matter.
No,
but that'd just set the wheels in motion in terms of the fan base. I think thinking, right, we've reset now. We're all right now. Whereas, if we win 1-0, we'll take it however it goes in. But I'd like to see the performance as well, just to give me that confidence going to the next game, thinking,
right, give them the confidence as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think if we win it 1-0, great. But if we could find a bit of fluidity to our play and get a 3-0 win, I think we'll then it's just I think we're quite home and hose, but not far off because it'll all be on the up then. But winning 2 games in a row is massive. Like if you squeeze past. If you can find a way. I mean, look even towards the end of Bielsa, like some of the games there, like until we got promoted, it was really tight towards the end because it's just the way it is. Everything gets really tight. Sheffield United were winning every game and suddenly find a way to lose 2 in a row. Like it's just what happens. Burnley, they've suddenly drawn away at Derby, can't find a way through. It's just what happens. Every game for all 3 top teams will be tight for now, I think. So if you can find a way to not make it tight and show fluidity, show good football, win a game comfortably, it's huge.
One bad result changes everything, doesn't it? If we lose or draw and Sheffield win, we're back again. And
it's mad. It's mad
to be like that.
Sean, we've got to eat our words a little bit, haven't we, Sean? Because it's only been the last couple of weeks, mate, on this show. We both said we need 98, 99, 100, and
100 points.
Within a couple of games, mate, it's totally flipped it round now. And I mean, we put something in group chat earlier. I think statistically, when you look at the actual games and points available, is it right, Adam? If we get 11 points, we are up no matter what happens with the permutation. Yes, if we only need 11 points, and we will go up.
I saw someone wrote down on social media, a couple of you guys, and I thought I better just check that, and it's absolutely spot on. Yeah, absolutely spot on.
I'm going to ask you I read it, mate, and I couldn't make head or tail of it. But yeah, with them two playing each other, and they're playing for less points. Basically, we've only 5 games less. At least one of them is playing for 2 less points. Or at least one of them playing 3 less points. Or both of them playing for 2 less points. So it's like it's a big difference. Like that game is huge. So if we we just got to keep ticking them off. Like I've been saying it for weeks, I know, but just keep ticking them off. Fair play.
Not less than 3 points though on Saturday. It's got
no, absolutely. Like I think even for us, like even if Burnley and Sheffield United draw and we draw and go, oh, it's okay. Just no, like I think the players would. I think it's huge. Even for sneak a 1-0 win, it's just huge in this moment. Massive because every game's so tight. If we prove it to ourselves, to win 2 games in a row, Borough stops the slide. It stops all the thinking from last season.
Yeah, it does.
I think it's a good performance. It was a really good performance. I know we're going to have Ramsani and people might go to moan or whatever. Like it was brilliant. Leeds are top of the league. It's amazing. We're heading back to the Premier League. It's incredible.
And what I will say is, I know it's just my opinion, but I do think Sheffield United may drop points before we even kick a ball on Saturday. I've just got off it, and I know it's just my feeling, but that is a tough game. Not on paper, not when you look at the table, but at the minute, the teams down at the bottom are proving to be a difficult opponent, especially for
what
Sheffield
time do
United.
we kick off Saturday?
How do we kick off same time, actually?
I think we get
12:30. Yeah, we kick off 12:32, but I think they'll drop points on Saturday, Sheffield United. It's a very, very tough place to go when mean, they beat Liverpool there, didn't they, at their place this season? It's a tough place to go for a side that's lacking confidence. And I actually think Wilder, we've seen him do it before, he may overthink this. I've been watching a little bit of Sheffield United content just because it's been funny this week. And a lot of their fans want a total switch up on that side, which would be going out of the norm. You know, basically, they got beat. He put the same team out there, go prove the good players, go, you know, I want to see reaction, got the same shit again. So he might make several changes here, and we've seen him before when he comes to Welling Road. He can overthink things, tweak things too much, and it can go against him. So I'm hoping he's gonna overthink this and they're gonna slip up. And if they slip up and we win, we're in dreamland, aren't we, lads? Especially with them playing each other. We're in dreamland. They've got to be squeaky clean with the fact that they are playing each other in 2 weeks' time. And we just need to do our business. The fact we've got 3 home games out of the 5 is we've said for weeks we're in such a comfortable position when you look at the fixtures. We've slipped up a couple of times. I didn't believe they'd slip up. They have. Everyone's human. And we are in the driving seat now. And I'm full of confidence now. It's mad what a couple of games does in football to the fan base and your general feeling.
It's all on Sheffield United. Like the pressure's on them all of a sudden.
Massive,
I mean, if they won last week, I think they're 5 points ahead of us, and they've found a way to lose 2 games in a row, and they've got to play Burnley away. That's a really hard game. As much, Burnley are favourites there. The Burnley are favourites, then the draw, then Sheffield United. Burnley are miles ahead of that one, so it's all on them. There's so much pressure for them to get points beyond the 2 games ahead of that Burnley game as well. I think. I mean. Yeah, it's all on them, which is great because a couple of games ago, by the way, it was all on us. We've got it done. To be fair,
no, it was. And like I say, some of these points we've picked up that look like bad points on the day, they might turn out to be crucial because, like I say, they've actually lost back to back, not a draw and a win, not a minor slip up, 2 fucking defeats, and they are, as a fan base, like I say, I've been looking at the comments on the videos and stuff, and their fan base is saying a lot of stuff we were saying only a couple of games ago. Like, they are absolutely up shit's creek, and they're thinking if they don't win on Saturday, they're in playoffs, even though mathematically there's still plenty to play for. We were saying the same thing. If we'd have drawn at Middlesbrough, we'd have been saying, but then they both slipped up. So it doesn't even, honestly, it's so hard to call at the minute. But I'm just happy that my confidence is back. It looked like the lads at the end of that game were relieved. They're growing in confidence, and I think I firmly believe we go up as champions now, and it's so funny what a couple of days does because I want him beats before that Middlesbrough game. As you know, I've been the most negative I've been all season this last 2 weeks. But, the boys we've got such a good team, and it was just that fight I wanted to see, and that belief's now come back in me, and it set a bit of a fire off, and I can't stop smiling at a minute. So
there's lots of players. I'm moaning about Aaron's whatever. There's so many players to be proud of in that side, and obviously Aaron's and I bitch about him whatever. But he obviously offers a great service for what he does as well. But there's so many players to be proud of, and if they can get this done, they'll go down Leeds like folklore, and I think they will now. I think they will, and they've shown great character to arrest that slide. Last season, it just slips and slips and slipped. This season, they've gone right, not having this. I think Borough was a really good game for us. The team that plays football.
I loved it. I love that blood and thunder, me. Yeah. That's the Leeds United team I want to watch. They're giving it their all. They're playing for the shirt. They're playing for each other. The emotion, like said Tanaka crying at the end, physically broken. I want more of that. That's what it's all about. And I don't care if we lose games, as long as we play like that and we give everything on that and we leave it all on the field, then you can't say anything about the players. It's when they don't perform and it's lacklustre and it's weak and they're not winning the battles. That's when questions are asked. But it's very positive against what we saw against Middlesbrough. I just want to ask you two a question.
Yep.
Do we now want Burnley to beat Sheffield United?
I'd rather them draw, I think.
No, I think yes. I mean, it depends on the weekend, doesn't it? Suddenly Burnley lose and Sheffield United win, and it's all like, so really, at the moment, I'd rather Burnley beat them. It just simplifies everything. I don't care about first or second. I really don't. You have a good window. You stay in the Premier League for 2-3 seasons. We don't remember. Well, people will obviously champions or second. So I think it's just a case of
getting that second spot in it, really. And if we get anything more than that's a bonus for me.
Mate, would you take second now?
Yep, definitely.
Would you, Matty?
I'll take
I would. I don't want to say no, but I'm going to have to say yeah now after how much I've been shitting myself these last few days, last few weeks.
Let's just get up there.
I've said no all season, and I know I don't want to. I'll gamble on going top, but yeah, I probably would now. Mate. I can't. How can I say no now? it's been an awful few weeks.
Matty, would you rather win second? If someone said guaranteed you second place or win the playoffs, what would you rather? What would you take at the moment?
What, you're telling me I guaranteed I've won playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd take playoffs. Fucking hell. Winning at Wembley. If I know we're going to win.
See, suddenly you've gone from winning the league, got a trophy and everything. Oh, I'll take the playoffs, extra games. Like just, like Jeopardy. Yeah.
No, 100%, mate, yeah.
I mean, imagine that. 40,000 Leeds fans in Wembley Stadium, London town. Take over, wouldn't we? Like,
I don't have to imagine, mate. I did it less than 12 months ago, pal. I know what it's like, mate.
I mean, if we won, if we win the game and saying to celebrate, not sitting in Costa with your missus after having a cheese and ham toast.
I've told
Danny
you,
always gets in with this.
I've paid 200 quid to go to Plymouth, right? So I'm going to be video calling you two boys, celebrating us getting promoted or winning the league.
I might just drive down for the day and see
come down.
I don't know. I might do.
So I don't want no playoffs. Otherwise, Plymouth's going to be pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right, Alan. Mate. Just need to get out no matter what. Like I say, I do want to finish second. Sorry, I'll take it. I wouldn't want to finish second if Blades won it because that'd piss me off. But yeah, you know what it is. I've already seen narrative change online now, right? Hey up, Gemma, love. Yeah, all good, love. Hope you're all right. What I'll say is I've seen the narrative change already, right, online for everybody last few weeks. All Blunts fans, Scum fans, everybody in country. Leeds are falling apart. You're not coming up. Now, in the last few days, or the last day or two, I've seen the narrative change from, you're going to go straight down anyway. So it's just quite funny how it changes from them taking piss saying you're not going to go up to now. They think we're going to go up, but now we won't get no credit for it until end of next season, if or when we stay up. So it's funny how it's funny how it changes now. It's fuck you, you're gonna be shit anyway. You're gonna go back down.
Season, everyone uses a negative positive to whatever context they want to use it for their argument. You know, like Southampton got promoted last season. They're now the only team guaranteed to be in the Championship next season, out of us two anyway. You know, because Southampton have been. I mean, they've had a terrible season. I'd rather have had our season in the Championship than Southampton's season. There.
You win at Wembley, but you only win 2 games in next calendar year. It's unbelievable. You think since we lost that game at Wembley, they've won 2 games.
By the way,
oh my word!
By the way, we wouldn't have done that. That's important to say. I don't. The 49ers aren't that bad. It's inept to run a football club that way to only win 2 games. Pathetic.
Yeah, the difference. You're right, Scott, mate. The difference in going up to stay in this division, it could be 1 point, it could be a goal that's cost us, it could be an offside, it could be anything. That if we didn't go up, it could be a singular moment that stopped us going up. The difference in going up and building where we could be in 3 years from now if we go up to where we could be in 3 years if we stay down, it's fucking unbelievable, the difference.
Mate, we could be
scary.
Could be a top 8 Prem club or a lower half Championship club. When you third season parachute payments, you're chasing your tail all the time. You haven't got the money. We haven't got 3 or 4 £40 million players at the moment either that we can sell. We just haven't. So you can't make your window up that way. You need a new manager. You probably have to sell 6, 7. Like next season we'd do amazing to get anywhere near the playoffs next season if we don't go up.
Yeah, wage bill's got to be cut in half, hasn't it? If we don't go up, so that'll be players gone. And that'll be your Bamfords and that can't afford to pay his wages. So
if we don't go up, you'll probably see a few at Leeds United scouts down at the Creator Cup, checking out some of the YouTube talent.
Playing up front next season for us.
I could be challenging Patrick Bamford to that number 9 shirt, lads. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not as mobile as I used to be, but you know what I mean. My hamstrings have never gone anywhere. We know that. Gemma, I can't wait to do another one for you all. Yeah, so anybody had a few messages lately about Late Night Leeds ladies. Like I said, I know you all know Becky's been poorly, been hospital. She's been out a week or so now. She's doing well, but just not quite ready to do a show. So hopefully we'll get one next week. Gemma, you'll be the driving force, love. Get that sorted. I'm going to put pressure on you. Come on, Dimples. Get it sorted. Get it over live. But yeah, we all can't wait for the next one. But we'll get going soon. But yeah,
if you don't, then me and Adam's going to have to put dresses on and a wig.
Again, sure.
Fillings.
Yeah, these will be on YouTube this time.
We'll have to get his weekend outfits out, Adam, and then fill in for the girls.
A couple of random ones I tweeted. I put in the star column earlier. So Andy roasted earlier some empty seat space in the ground. I thought Borough were football mad. Honestly, I was shocked at how say that in the playoffs, in form. Apparently, decent fan base, big club. Their home form was shite. Their home support was shite. Absolutely shite. Yeah, honestly, empty seats in every single stand, mate. Like they had a decent stand which were next to us guys, but obviously you expect that. Their most hostile fans were next to us. Granted, that were decent bit of banter as it should be, but the actual stadium, the atmosphere were poor for me, and too many seats empty for a side pushing promotion, which they are. You know what I mean? I think it's shocking.
I quite like. They did really well, Middlesbrough. I quite like them as they've got a good team.
He'll do well, Carrick. He'll do well.
They've got great patterns to what they do, and they're coached really well. Like it's really organised, and everyone they're good to that.
The injuries they've got as well, Adam. They've got massive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well. But they sold a couple of players in January. Bradley Doak, is that right? Went in January. Latilac went.
Coburn. Coburn who scored.
I know Doak wasn't known for anyone saying he's injured. Before anyone says he wasn't injured, and I know Danny's coming for me. Probably typing right now. I know he wasn't sold in January anyway. By the way, if you see Leicester game, they must have been half full for a Premier League game the other night. Leicester Monday night against Newcastle. It's soul destroying, isn't it? Coming up and just not doing anything with your squad and hoping for the best. You got bloody Ruud van Nistelrooy hasn't got a clue what he's doing, and they're just going 3-0 down in 20 minutes.
See, the one thing about Leeds, it don't matter where we're going to be next season, we'll still fill a stadium.
Yeah,
that's guaranteed. The fans will still turn up.
That's what the group was saying. Obviously, I were on coach one eye, and really, massive eye opener to how much money these people put into the club, how much time away from their families, traveling all over the world. I went on a coach. 50% of that coach have all booked Sweden. It's not cheap. People working. Wow. The lad I went with works almost 90 hours every week, and he has done for 12 years. And all his extra money goes into Leeds United away. Like he misses home games for working overtime, so he can go to his away games. He spends loads of money on it, and it's just a phenomenal fan base we have, and the support them and go all over, don't they? And it was just surprising to see Middlesbrough not really have that. Another comment here. With Tanaka breaking down emotionally, do we read anything into it? It's considering 5 crucial games left. Can we still rely on him, or does Gilvogi step up? I would say no. I would say he will be fine. Anything to add before I move on?
I think he's knackered. I think it is catching up with him. And I don't think it's getting any worse. I think we're already seeing it anyway.
Seeing the worst.
His form's dropped off. He's still pretty good, so it's sort of fine because he's very good in the first place. So I don't envision it having a big impact. And so
he's not had this before, though, has he? He's not. Tanaka's not been in this position before. He's been playing second division or something in Germany. This is new to him. It's a new type of pressure. It's a new type of emotion for him. And he's feeling it.
And he's still got a 7 out of 10, Sean, didn't he? The rating's actually back up.
The fact he's letting it all out after the match is good. I like that. He emotionally, I think just an emotional player, but I still think he's going to be fine for the last 5 games. He's got to be, because we've got no one else at the minute.
I agree, mate.
True.
Jonathan Wright said earlier, so glad
Just get on with it. Just get on with it, Tanaka.
Provides reassuring calmness, does Darlow. I'd like to just touch on Darlow. He hasn't had loads to do in terms of shot stopping. He's made some good saves, but just the way he demands it, the box is really. He punched a few against Middlesbrough, got really clearance on him. We saw against Luton, he were catching loads. I just feel like he looks a solid presence in there. And I'd like you to ask you, Adam, about his distribution, because he gets a bit of stick for not being good with his distribution. And I know he kicked one out of off the pitch early on in that game, but I don't think his distribution is all that bad. If I'm honest, I think it's all right, and we don't need to be much.
I think it's slightly worse than Melier, but I don't really care. I think that he's a really steady goalkeeper. That's what we discussed last Friday. We just need a steady goalkeeper. One we're not shit scared he's going to throw the ball in his own goal any second. Just don't make mistakes. Make the saves you should make. Kick the ball the way you should kick it. Find the pass you should pass, and he does all of that stuff. He's serviceable. Doesn't do him justice. Better than that. And what he does actually, there was a stat, wasn't there? He's played less games, Melier, but caught something like 200 more footballs in professional football, wherever it was. He catches the ball. He wants to catch the ball, and then he takes all the pressure off the team.
That's it.
Yeah, brilliant.
The defense look a lot more confident as well with him. And the amount of times they give him the ball as well, they're not scared to pass it back to him. They're not hesitant in passing it back to Darlow. Again, like you just said, then it's just a steady goalkeeper, someone who can catch a ball or punch it, make the correct decision at the time. I'm not going to say he's not going to make no mistakes, but there's not going to be half as bad as what Millie has made. So
Yeah, I
just
agree.
we'd seen a lot more of him.
Lots of half mistakes, but
Yeah.
Melee makes absolute howlers, like really bad howlers.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Bad mistakes that not going to cost us
Yeah.
goals. Hopefully.
Yeah, I agree with that, Richard. That statement. Yeah, I agree with that. Out of his hands, he really has decent distribution. Yeah, the one on the floor, maybe. Yeah, but like you say, it's just we've always said, haven't we, when it's come to Melia debacle this season, we just want him to do the basic stuff, and Melia can't guarantee you that. When I think Darlow is probably the closest thing we've got to guaranteeing that at the club currently. So yeah, I'm happy for him that he's come straight in, and at least he hasn't made any errors as of yet. So it's sort of settled us as fans. It's settled him down. It's settled a back four down a little bit.
You were at the game, obviously, Middlesbrough. Is he as vocal as what everybody's saying?
I thought so, yeah.
Could you hear him?
Yeah, I could hear him when he was our side. I could hear him. And he's always pointing, always shouting. He doesn't look a timid guy in between the posts, that's for sure. But I always look at Millie and think he does. Yeah, I would say I could hear him, mate. I could hear him in first half. I thought he was very commanding vocally, very commanding physically. And yeah, I just feel like the defence didn't look nervous with him there. So it's all good signs so far, all good signs. Skip said earlier, I would like to see Schmidt start on Saturday, although he ain't playing much, hasn't had much playing time. He's a strong runner with the ball. You know what I say about Schmidt? I don't think he'll start, but I do think he's going to be, maybe that first option now as a sub. What I will say is great athlete, really, really good athlete, can get up and down, physically strong because he's more of a defensive sort of player, as you touched on earlier, Adam. We thought he was a fullback. Great that he's got that option. He can play fullback, he can play at wing. But I just think a really good athlete and somebody. It doesn't look like he's lacking match fitness, a bit like we said about Paddy. It looks like every single time this season, I think he's only had half an hour, hasn't he, in small stints up until now. Every single minute he's played on the pitch for Leeds United, he's looked good. Every single minute he's played. And to come in cold when he has played and look good, he's only good for us moving forward. And I do think he's a really good athlete and like a new signing for us.
He reminds me in lots of ways good, but it's James Milner. Like he's a serviceable left back, right back. Yeah. When he plays wing, he's not going to beat someone, but he'll keep the ball. He'll find his teammate when he makes a pass. He'll run up and down. People won't beat him in a challenge. He'll find a way to win a tackle. He'll win his duels. I think he looks like he's made to be a wing back. He's not attacking intent. Isn't quite there for a winger. And fullback, obviously, I think he played fullback, of course, but I think wing back. I think it's probably because he's such a good runner. But
played more on the left for his last team, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. That's where he's always played like that. Well, no, sorry, I play some games right back, obviously, but yeah, left back, inversing, because he's obviously right-footed. I think he's an option, but I think he's a good system player. He's not a flair player. He's diligent. He's going to do everything. He's going to do everything properly again. He's just 65-70% players. Always, 7 out of 10 every game. Probably that's who he is by the looks of him.
Yeah, I think he said himself that he struggled with the English game. And it's took him a bit of time to get used to it, which is normal. Yeah. And I think now
different pace, isn't it? If you're used to going, right, control the ball, have a look, pass. Here it's control pass. You've got to scan
an hour,
because otherwise you will get someone job. Especially Championship, it's only the English game Championship, is it? It's more fierce. And you watch some Premier League games now, standoffish, tactical systems. Championship's still blood and thunder. Premier League games on, Championship games on. Always watch a Championship game. It's actually better to watch as a football game. I'm not saying I want to be in there as a Leeds fan, but it just is.
We said that, and didn't we say that a few weeks ago about how Premier League might suit players more like Nontosi, Ramazanis?
Yeah. I think it will, because you do get more time on the ball, and it's almost more predictable as well. I think everyone's got their systems, the way they're playing. So it's tougher. Like Borough, if we play the same way as we did against Borough against the Premier League side, they score 4 goals because they're finishing. They're how effective they are. They just do. But again, it's a Championship game. It's where we are. It's fine. There's lots of players in our squad I think that actually might be slightly better Premier League players, oddly, than Championship.
Yeah, it's mad that. You're right though. Boss Nass said this early from Seaside TV. Question is, Adam put this to you first. Question is, do Leeds have a striker worthy of wearing the number 9 currently for this storied institution? The fact that he had a couple of posh words at the end of it, I've just straight give it to you, mate.
Storied institution. Well, we do have a guy wearing the number 9, so yes.
Don't need to add much thought of that. Yeah, I just seen the last few words. I thought, go on, take it over, mate.
He's not. Worthy.
Old Harry Gray.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah, I am tired, Danny. Very tired, mate. It's catching up with me. About after it morning, be driving to Cardiff. Nice weekend with the wife in Cardiff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And
I'm
pub for the
away up
game.
in Dale, so
Lovely weekend. Right. So before I go, please go check out Sean at Wilco White's top right corner, that handsome chap. Let's get him some more subs. Danny's banged loads of links in the chat. I'm sure he'll bang more in. But most importantly, go see Sean, please. He puts a lot of time and effort into my channel and my show. So please go check him out. Would much appreciate it.
thanks, guys.
There's going to be wholesale changes come July. How many 5-year contracts do we sign? I hope not that many, mate. Great night out with Cardiff. I can't wait. Here's some more links. Danny's put Passion for Leeds in. We're going to call it a night now. Peacock White's fantastic stream as always, lads. Thank you very much. It is my favourite show. I wait all week for this. Sorry I've had to change to Thursday, boys, for me, but it's gone well tonight, I think. Tickle those likes. Yeah, please stick a like on. Please subscribe to this channel as well, because I don't say it very often. Go subscribe to everybody else's as well. Bob Young, enjoy your mucky weekend in Cardiff. Yeah. We'll see how mucky it can be. Well, I won't let you know either. Danny runs this channel. Go check him out, please. Great chat, guys, says Alan. Thank you, mate. Ina, thanks for bobbing in, mate, as always. Great show. Have a great trip. I will do, mate. Hope you're well. Hope work's going well for you as well, buddy.
Incredible beard.
Yeah, I know. It just makes me jealous, doesn't it? Makes me jealous. Great
chat.
chat. Yeah.
Is that, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, so please check the links on the way out. Go check out my friends' channels, and yeah, please check out Sean at Wilco White's.
Yes, lads.
Oh, we'll never do a late night Leeds again if you don't get another sub. So it's a sad time. Look at Adam's face saying, "Don't joke about things like that." It's my favourite time. This, I love this.
I like it.
Adam sat in his own.
It's only night, Adam. Don't go out on Raz. This. It's the only night when late night Leeds is on. Oh, sorry, I didn't watch his stream. Matty, I went out again. Oh, were you?
He has been out.
I was out today.
Oh, honestly, life of bloody Riley, you. Does help you ain't got like 15 kids like I have.
I have no responsibilities in life.
you just run a company and do all this crap. I mean,
that does itself. That'd be fine. I'm not going to that stage.
But yeah, massive win coming on Saturday, I think. We're going to do it out with boys. Super confident now. It's mad how everything can just change with a decent result. My mentality sort of switched. It's a very positive Matty again. And I hope the boys delivered on Saturday, which I'm sure they will. Thank you so much, everyone, for being in. Great numbers again tonight. Please smash a like. Please subscribe. And please check out the other links. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Yes.